Hello, this video will help you calculate your point-hour ratio or your grade point average at Ohio State University. First, let's talk about what grade points you receive given a certain grade that you receive in a class. At Ohio State, we go by the A, A-, B+, and so forth system. So, for any course in which you'd get an A, you would get a grade points of a 4.0. And so forth down the list. Please note though, there are no A+, D-, or E+ in this system. You don't get any grade points for any grade of an E or an EN. Those would only count as credit hours, thus hurting your GPA because you do not get any grade points associated with one of those grades. How would you calculate your PHR? Well, you take the grade points for a given class, multiply those by the credit hours for a class, then divide that by the total credit hours for a semester, and that is your point-hour ratio. So for example, if you are in Math 1151, there are 5 credit hours associated with that class. If you get a B in that class, that is 3 grade points. Multiply your grade points by the credit hours in the class, and that gives you 15 credit points. Do this for each class, then add the credit points for all of the classes, divide that sum by the credit hours. Let's see what that looks like in practice. So for a student who takes Physics 1250, Engineering 1181, Math 1151, and Engineering 1100, and gets grades of a B+, C, A, and B-, these are the credit points associated based on those grades. You then add up those credit points and you get 43.2 credit points for the semester. Divide that by the total number of credit hours, 13, and you get 3.32 GPA for that semester. Now it's your turn. What we'd like you to do, take a look at the grades and the credit hours for this student. So again, go through the same step-by-step process, 4 credit hours times the grade point associated with each class. Add those up, take the sum, and divide it by the total number of credit hours for this semester. If you need to, feel free to pause, go back, and look at the grade point chart that was earlier in the video. Go ahead and complete this now. Are you finished? If so, here's what we have. Multiplying 4 times 3.3 gives us 13.2, and so forth. We have a total of 34.6 credit points, 12 hours total. Dividing 34.6 by 12 gives us 2.883. Now you might think, well, this student has a B+, an A-, and an A in the semester. How is their point-hour ratio below a 3.0? The reason for that is how many credit hours the chemistry and the math courses are. The higher the credit hour for a given class, the greater the impact it's going to have on the point-hour ratio. So it's really important to make sure that in those higher credit hour classes that you have an idea of how you're going to do, because they're going to have a much bigger impact on your GPA in a given semester. So make sure that you're paying attention to that when you're calculating out your PHRs in a given semester. So you can do this for any one of the PHRs you need to calculate, your EPHR, your Cphr, or your term point-hour ratio, depending on whether you want to predict a GPA for yourself, if you want to predict what the EPHR is going to be for you if you're applying to your major. You can follow the steps with any point-hour ratio. You can have this video, feel free to pause it, record, and go back and take a look at each one. We hope this has been helpful. Hopefully you can now calculate all of your PHRs, and hope you're on to great success at Ohio State. Thanks, and go Bucks!